Hi everybody, this is Maureen Wong for YourNextStamp.com. I know it's past Christmas, but today we're going to be making this cute little gifty mug pocket card, and you can stick any kinds of stuff in here. I have a cocoa packet in here, but you could stick like the Starbucks Via coffees, or you could even stick just a little note and a gift card inside. But it makes a nice little gift, and it's still winter, so this says winter cheer, and it's not specifically for Christmas. But just by changing up the pattern papers and the sentiments, you can use this year round and stick whatever you like in it. Just let your imagination run wild. So let's get started. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to speed up the video a little bit so it's a little faster, and you can see this is my PDF template that I've printed out, and the top part with the handle, which you may think is the back, is actually the front. And the reason why I did that was because I picked out a pattern paper that I wanted for my mug pattern, and usually the pattern is also on the handle. So I didn't want to make the handle on the back piece, I wanted it on the front piece so the pattern would be continuous. Okay, so what I've gone ahead and done is printed out the PDF, which you can find on the Your Next Stamp blog, and I just printed this on plain printer paper. You don't want anything heavyweight unless you're going to use this as a pattern for a lot of these, in which case you'd want to do it on heavy cardstock or like manila folder or something like that. But because I'm going to be just sticking this right to my pattern paper and cutting them both out at the same time, I wanted it to be on something really thin. In the alternative, I have prepared an SVG file, which is also available on the Your Next Stamp blog, and you can just use that file to cut out your two pieces of pattern paper, and that actually makes it so much easier. So once you cut out your pattern, you're going to want to make sure that the entire thing fits onto your paper. It is a little smaller than 6 by 6, so you're going to have to be careful that the edges don't hang over. And then I just go ahead and cut right on the lines, cutting both papers at the same time. And for the handle, you'd want to just use a craft knife, or you can punch a hole with your scissors and cut it. And then you're going to do the exact same thing with the back side. And so here I've actually cut my pieces out with an electronic die cutting machine. And you can see that's the pattern paper that I chose for my back, and then this is the pattern for the front. And you can see how nicely that pattern just continues right onto the handle. And I'm going to be using liquid glue. I'm actually using tacky glue in this case. And the reason why I'm using this instead of, for instance, my ATG adhesive is because the cocoa packet or things that you put inside the pocket are going to want to push out the edges to come apart. So you want to use something that's not going to come apart easily. And when you're matching up the front and the back, it only goes one way, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So you just line up the bottoms of the two pieces and then stick that down, and you're going to want to let that dry completely before you put anything into it. And then you can write a message on the back if you want, or you can just write a message and stick it inside the pocket. Okay, and now I'm going to do a little bit of decorating. So I've got this stamp set from Your Next Stamp called Holiday Hello, and I'm using the sentiment Winter Cheer, which I've already got mounted on my small Martha Stewart footed stamp press, and I've inked that up with some really nice red dye ink and I'm stamping on a stitched fishtail tag number 2, which is actually the smaller of the two tags, and that fits absolutely perfectly on there. So I'm going to figure out how I want that situated on my card, and I got some baker's twine, which I'm going to wrap around my card and through that handle. And I'm not going to be writing my message to the recipient on the back, so I'm not worried about how the back is going to look, so I don't mind tying the twine all the way around the back. If you're writing your message on the back, then you might want to put your decorations onto the front of that cup before you adhere the back and the front together, and then you can hide the ends inside. Unfortunately, I tied my baker's twine too loose, so I'm going to get some tape and stick down those ends and gather up the excess in the center so that it's tight on the front. And again, I'm not worrying about that because I'm not writing my message back there. I'm going to write it separately on something and put it in the pocket with the cocoa. So I threaded my tag onto the baker's twine and I'm tying a knot and then a bow. My bow turned out a little bit too big, so I'm going to pull that out carefully and then re-tighten it so that it's a little smaller. Then gather up my ends and cut off the excess. And there you go. That is basically your mug card, and you can stick whatever you want in the pocket. And you can see that, of course, it does fit the Cocoa Pocket packet perfectly. And you can also shove gift cards or messages or anything else in there. So I hope you like this idea, and we hope to see you over at yournextstamp.com for these and many other fun products. Thank you very much for watching.